I'm Grandma Rachel, and this is session 2 of Grandma's Quilt Club Victory Garden. And today we're going to do a little bit of talking about what you get in your packet and your booklet, and then we're going to let Leah do some show and tell. But before we do that, I'm going to tell you those awful jokes that you've come to like so much. The Kyle Files. Remember I told you my son likes 9-year-old jokes? They're so bad, they're either funny or they're real groaners. Why are ghosts such terrible liars? Because you can see right through them. What did the tree put on its salad? Branch dressing. I told you they were bad. What kind of stick can a dog never put down? A glue stick. And then for my silly joke. A woman woke up in the middle of the night to find her husband was not in bed. She put on her robe and went downstairs to look for him. He was sitting at the kitchen table with a cup of hot cocoa in front of him, staring at the wall, apparently deep in thought. Noticing that he had wiped a tear from his eye, she said, "What's the matter, dear? What are you doing down here at this time of night?" The husband looked up from his cocoa and said, "Today is the 30th anniversary of when we met." "Wow," said the wife, "I can't believe you remembered that." She begins to feel a little tearful herself. The husband then said, "Do you remember 30 years ago when we first started dating? I was 18 and you were only 16. She said, "Yes, I remember." Pausing a little because the words were not coming easily, he said, "Do you remember when your father caught us in the back seat of my car?" "Yes, I remember," she said. "Do you remember when he shoved that shotgun in my face and said, 'Either you marry my daughter or I'll make sure you spend the next 30 years in prison'?" "Yes, I remember that too." He sighed, wiped another tear from his cheek and said, "Today I would have gotten out." Stupid, right? I like those dumb jokes. Okay, Victory Garden. You know there's 4 colorways, and I think I told you last time that I would show a different colorway each month, except I don't remember what I showed you last time. So this time the block is called Yankee Puzzle, and I'm showing you the blue and yellow colorway. Here's the pattern itself. You get the pattern, and then you get the fabric to make the block, and as you see, this is a 1930s colorway. It has the vintage white, a 1930s yellow, and a beautiful blue blender to go with it. And then remember, this part makes the 12-inch block, but in order to turn it into a 15-inch block, you're going to need to add this border as well. You want to be really careful when you're putting this border on, because you're going to get, if you just start sewing it on and then cutting it off to fit, it's not going to look as good as if you carefully measure it to fit the block and then sew it on. Sew the sides on first, then the top and bottom, and you'll have that pattern. So in addition to that, you also get the variable star pattern. Remember I told you we have this pattern, and in the middle here we're going to put in the different fruits and vegetables. You add the other fabric. This time we have tomatoes and bananas. So that's going to make your variable star block. What does that have to do with the quilt we're making? Absolutely nothing. It's just a little bonus that you get with your club membership. Then we put the booklet together, and this time we're talking about tomatoes. So Grandma's Victory Garden, of course this pattern had to be red because of the tomatoes. And you can see in here that Dora is writing letters to her husband and telling her story about what she's doing during the day. We have a really nice quote from Julia Child, and we have an 1888 advertising label of tomatoes. A couple of stories. One on the conservation of durable goods through use of war bonds, and the other one economizing during World War II. And there's a quote that I've always heard my grandmother say part of the quote, but until I looked it up, I didn't realize where it came from. And what it is a verse that was written in 1876 by Roland Howard, and it is waste not, want not is a maxim I teach. Let your watchword be dispatch and practice what you preach. Do not let your chances like sunbeams pass you by, for you never miss the water till the well runs dry. I only knew about the first part of that. I didn't know about practicing what you preach or the well running dry or any of that. So that was kind of fun. Couple of recipes. One of them is for a garden fresh tomato soup, and the other one is an old-time recipe called eggs and baked tomatoes. Basically what you do is hollow out a tomato after you've done a few things to it. You stick a raw egg in there and you bake it until the egg forms in the tomato. Sounded kind of good. I'm going to try it. Then we have our wartime timeline, and this is the first part of the 1940s during World War II. We have another one of the Victory Garden posters. This happens to be from World War I, but they were using it in World War II as well. A continuation of the story, the word search program, and just like last time, I'm dedicating this year to my very good friend Roxy Burgard. Roxy Burgard was a quilter, a gardener, and a friend. She was also my mentor, and she helped me organize many different things, including all the books you see on the wall behind me and 6 file cabinets worth of my quilt history materials. Unfortunately, Roxy died in February of this year of the COVID-19 virus. So we're dedicating Victory Garden to her because she was quite the gardener as well as quilter. She loved gardens so much. So that's the part where I'm telling you about what we're doing with Block 2 in our packet number 2. And Leah is sitting here because she's been working out front quite a bit, and she has a whole lot of show and tell that she wants to show you. Oh, one more thing before I forget. We have decided that we can give out some door prizes. And the way we're going to do that is if you come into the store to pick up your block, you can put your name in a special basket or something that Leah's got. And at the end of the sessions, so on Monday, we will pick out some names and we will distribute door prizes. We're not going to be able to mail you the door prizes, so you're going to have to come in and get them, and we'll hold them for you until you get here. But we're definitely going to do the door prize thing. Should be fun. Leah, what have you got that's come into the store, show and tell?
Okay, well, see, I've been thinking about how this is October 3rd, and we are running really, really fast with this year. So I brought in a few ideas that we could do quickly for a Christmas present or whatnot. The first one I have is a timber gnome panel and flannel. We had it in both flannel. We have it in both flannel and just regular fabric. So that's one of the fun things. Just quick
cotton fabric, right?
Yes, all cotton.
Gnomes are big this year. Turns out every year, all of the fabric companies seem to pick a theme. One year it might be cows. The next year it might be cupcakes. This year it was gnomes. What else you got?
To go along with the Christmas thing.
So what you're saying is Christmas is just around the corner and you should be thinking about it now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I don't know where the summer went and it's already October. So, all right.
Here we go.
Kitties, which are absolutely my favorite.
In front of a fireplace in a Christmas scene. Very cool panel. You could do a whole bunch of stuff putting things around it.
I'm trying to figure out how to get that one big enough for my door.
For your whole door?
Yeah.
What else you got?
All right. And then we move on to...
This looks like Darlene Zimmerman's nap time. This is, in addition to about 24 different fabrics, this is a panel that you can either embroider right over the top of these or sew them in just like this. I think it would be really fun, especially for people who like to embroider. And my favorites are the kitty and the lamb. Isn't it cute?
And speaking of embroidery, we have gotten a lot more embroidery patterns in. That's my favorite to do.
This one is called what? What's it called?
I think it's the kitty. This is a kitten a day.
A kitten a day.
We also have
That could kind of ruin your life. A kitten every day.
that
could kind of ruin your life. A kitten every day.
some tea time, some ducks, some Scotty.
Very cool. What else you got?
All right. Then for those who love Sunbonnet Sue, we have
This book is a really old book by Leisure Arts. It's only $10.95, and it's called The Ultimate Sunbonnet Sue Collection. But they've done something. They've redone it with a brand new cover. So some of you might already have these patterns and not even know it. But this is one of my favorite Sunbonnet Sue books. Then we have the Sunbonnet Sue book that was created. The Sues were created by a good friend of mine who passed away many years ago named Pat Smith. And this one, too, is a really, I'm never going to be Vanna White. You get the actual pattern for placement, and then you get all the pieces to make a really fun quilt. Isn't that cool? What else you got, Leah?
okay. Then going back to the Christmas and just for everyday fun, we now have a bunch more puzzles in stock. So.
I think this time, you know what? Puzzles are so popular during COVID-19 that they've been on back order forever. And we just recently got in 1,000-piece and 500-piece, and we have one 300-piece left. But didn't you say we're getting a whole bunch in?
Yes, I talked to the Susie from Leaning Tree, who is our rep, and since we have a big thing outside that says puzzles, we had a little kid come in looking for a puzzle. So now we are going to get a whole bunch of younger puzzles.
Puzzles for kids, plus wooden puzzles for kids that will last a long time. And they're on their way. God knows when they're coming, but they'll be here.
And then for the gift ideas, we have our
tea samples, which are samples of foil wrapped teas so you can see which ones you like. But in addition to that, I found something else that was kind of fun. These are called mini packs, and there's 10 tea bags in each of them. Different flavors: apple tea, vanilla tea, raspberry tea. I know there's ginger peach, there's
peppermint.
Lemon, there's peppermint, there's every imaginable kind, raspberry tea, blueberry. And what's cool about these, they're only $2.99, and it gives you an opportunity to try many different types of teas. We've got 12 different flavors in all.
Then one of our good people who do the sewing in here, Becky Lindquist, who helped me learn how to make masks, has come in with her new set of aprons.
She's got, 5 or 6 new aprons?
Oh, there was lots more. So, yes, she's constantly working. She calls
This is just one of them.
Yeah.
And they are all made by Becky. They are very well constructed. You can see that she takes a lot of time and effort to sew them. Plus, they have extra long ties. That was my request, so that they could go around you and actually tie you in regardless of how...
And she found this little work in the Goodwill bins.
She's
And
always
she
doing
says
something creative.
She never wants a woman's work to die, so she'll put it in the aprons. So you'll come in and see different things in the aprons.
That's just one of them. You can't imagine every type and style that she has.
All right, and since my time is almost up, I wanted to tell you a really cute story. We have this panel that we got. It's called Wiggle Butts. Okay? Well, recently here in Oregon, there was the fires, and we had a lady come in and say that her daughter's pet had passed away in the fire. She was able to make it out, but her pet was not. And I was reading this, and it says, every meal you make, every bite you take, I'll be watching you. And I said, oh my goodness, I never read that before. And I picked it up, and I went, that's it. That's what her dog is telling her. You know, that's why she needs to cuddle under that. So...
So she got the panel, and
she got the
making
panel,
it for her
and she's
daughter.
making it. We have created a way for her to make it, and it be a special memento for, the people who have had issues and have lost people in the fires and houses.
So let's talk about that very briefly, and then I'll wrap up this session. First, I want to say that during the COVID 19 crisis and the restrictions and stuff, Leah here has made, her and Becky and a couple of other ladies have made at least 1,000 different face masks, and they have not requested to make any money off of them. Instead, what they've been doing is requesting donations for Sable House. How much money have you guys made for Sable House now?
What are we up to?
$1,500.
$1,500
to Sable House. Sable House during COVID also has needed extra money because they've had to set people up in hotels and things like that. So that's one way that Grandma's Attic was able to help out. We also have been giving away elastic for the masks, and I think last count I'd given away nearly 3,000 yards of elastic. And then during the fires that we had here recently, we were able to provide supplies to quilters who had lost everything, and we're very thrilled to be able to do that for them. But in the meantime, we've got a whole bunch of new stuff in, only part
There
of which...
was more things that I couldn't show you because I'm on a time limit.
So that you don't have to sit here forever. But what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to come in and you're going to want to take a look around Grandma's attic. We do practice social distancing. We try to stay very safe here. And if you are enjoying our Victory Garden, please drop me a note, Grandma's Attic at CompuServe.com, and let me know what you think, okay? Thank you so much. Bye.
And this is one of the masks we wear when we're here. This is one I made. So
here's my kitty mask.
Yes, we do practice very good social distancing and mask wearing. So thank you, everybody. Thank you for, letting us come into your homes instead of just being in the classroom. And we look forward to seeing you when we can.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye.